Notable new cards for Tiny Leaders Reborn and Lorwyn Eclipsed. Overall, Lorwyn Eclipsed was a pretty mediocre set competitively. It had some amazing art and some fringe playable cards, but the actual playable cards are pretty few and far between. That said, here are some of the highlights. Honorable mentions. I wouldn't be doing my job right if I didn't mention the new Changeling cards for Grist Bugs. These 3 new cards help recast Grist and remove Pithing Needle effect, and although they are all 3 mana, they are almost certainly making the cut. Go Bugs! Another interesting, though probably not competitive card, is Abigail Eloquent First Year. This card is a very neat build-around for a commander, enabling swinging with huge flying threats while disabling your opponent's engines. However, most competitive decks have a hard time playing bad cards for the sake of the commander, so I doubt this will see any major play. For the Jink Brewers in the format, though, it is absolutely worth building this commander. The third honorable mention is one that you've probably heard of before. Hexing Squelcher has been taking formats by storm as a powerful upgrade to Spiderpunk. Just about any red deck that is remotely concerned about counterspells is likely to run it in their sideboard, and especially in mono red decks. The only reason this doesn't make the full list is that the card is only truly viable in the sideboard of decks, and is only a slight upgrade to pre-existing cards. Number 5. Moonshadow. Moonshadow is a fascinating new card for the set. Practically, it acts sort of like a Stalactite Stalker, growing off of milling, sacrificing, and fetches. However, though the card doesn't trigger off of multiple cards hitting the yard at the same time, it can grow more than once per turn. This card can also grow on your opponent's turn, which is a big plus. It's also worth noting that the card has some extra potency in more fringe decks, which will also boost its playability in specific lists. While it's no Netherglyph, I wouldn't be surprised if the card sees some play here and there. Number 4. Bitterbloom Bearer. An obvious callback to Blitterblossom, a card that already sees some minor play in the format. This card has some notable upsides. The fact that it has Flash means you can cast it at the end of your opponent's turn, letting you get 2 annoying bodies at the start of your next turn. In a way, the card acts more like Orcish Bowmasters, creating multiple bodies at instant speed. While it certainly won't replace Bowman in any deck, having some extra redundancy with some solid evasion is incredibly useful in many decks. I expect this to see some solid play in a few top-tier decks in the format, as well as some smaller ones. Number 3. Bristlebane Battler. This card is actually quite similar to Moonshadow, except with a few key differences that puts this card higher on the list. First off, Battler has Ward 2. While it's still killable, spending 2 additional mana to remove a creature is no joke, as that is likely to use an entire turn just to get rid of 1 creature. Second big upside is that the growth condition is much easier to trigger. Any deck that creates a decent amount of creatures in a turn can very quickly get them up to maximum power, where the Battler becomes a real issue for the opponent. I suspect this will see quite a bit of play, and I know I certainly won't be happy seeing this guy hit my opponent's board. Number 2. Formidable Speaker. In second place, we have an absolute beast of a card. Formidable Speaker enables unrestricted tutoring at a rate that is cheaper than the vast majority of the options in the format currently. Plus, the cost is incredibly negligible. Speaker doesn't specify what type of card needs to be discarded, just that a card needs to be discarded. This could be a less valuable creature, but it could also just be a land that you don't need. Slap that to an unboltable body and you have one heck of a card. The most powerful application is to tutor Nadu, where Speaker comes built in with the ability to immediately trigger Nadu the turn after it comes down. This card will absolutely see play in the right deck, and I'm excited to see what nonsense folks get up to with it. Number 1. Requiting Hex. And at number 1, we have an all-star of a card. This black instant is one of the strongest new black removal spells in the format, getting rid of the vast majority of creatures you'll be facing. While Fatal Push and Longaby are both going in over this in most black decks, Requiting Hex is probably the 3rd or 4th best removal spell. Previously, the black 1-drop removal slot's next best options were Cut Down and Bloodchief's Thirst, both of which have their downsides. Hex's optional cost to gain 2 life is also an incredibly potent way to get an edge on aggro. I expect this card to see fairly broad play in every mono-black deck, as well as in any deck that wants a lot of removal spells. Did I miss any cards? Would you have ranked it differently? Let me know in the comments below. If you want my full breakdown of all Tiny Legal cards in Lorwyn Eclipsed, make sure to check out this video where me and Esper do just that. And as always, stay tiny.